Hello, welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn and my Thursday afternoon Facebook Live sharing what I love about crafting. I'm on the Sunshine Coast and I hold classes and stuff and events, and I love doing my Thursday afternoon videos for you, sharing ideas and creativity. This is a masculine card this week, something a little bit different. It's actually come from the fact that I've been playing with the Weekend Adventures scrapbooking kit. Let me show it to you. Scrapbooking workshop kits. Here it is. Weekend Adventures is the scrapbooking workshop kit, which has this great paper. But I have also, in the part of the catalogue that has scrapbook supplies, there's this great stamp set, and I made a couple of cards with it. It has these really good greetings. Adventure starts here, taking the scenic route, things to do, places to see, all which are brilliant for the sort of scrapbooking I like to do. We do a lot of nature walks and camping and bushwalking and stuff like that, so that stamp's great for me. But it has some other great elements to it as well, making it a very versatile stamp set. And I've used some of that great paper to make this masculine card. All right, I'm using Early Espresso for the card base, and here's my Whisper White for inside the card. I'll be adding some paper to that. This one's for my stamping, and here's my Designer Series paper. So this is from the Weekend Adventures Designer Series paper. Cool stripes, cool flannel on the other side, and what I'm going to do for the front of the card is just tear it, and I'll do the same for the inside of the card too. So I'll pop there the front of the card ones. This is the one for inside the card. So I'm just going to tear that, decide which edge I like the best to be my most prominent. Do I want it tartan mostly? Yes, I do want tartan mostly. So I'm going to add some adhesive to that edge and line these two up however I want them to be, and then put some adhesive on both of them and pop them on the bottom of my panel for inside my card here. This is actually, you're getting a sneak peek of a project for my blog coming up for next month. There we go. So there's the inside of my card. I'm going to leave that there just for a second because I'm going to do some stamping on it very shortly. But before I do anything else, I'll get my paper for the front of my card. So I want this one up there and this one there. Okay, so I think I will overlap. So I'll pop this one on first, put my glue, my adhesive on this one first, and line this up, leaving a small tiny border all the way around the edges. And then add my adhesive to this one here, the reverse side of the same paper. So this is called the rip and flip technique of card making, where you use the same piece of paper, make it slightly longer than your card front, tear it and flip it. There you go. There's the front of my card. And now on the front of my card and on the inside of my card, I'm going to add just some of these little dotty things. It's a great little stamp. I love dotty stamps. They just add great texture. There you go. That's enough for the inside of my card. And here we go, some for the front. You can obviously see I like to work in a bit of a diagonal sort of orientation there. I find that works pretty well. And while I'm stamping, I'm going to stamp my greeting, and I'll pull this back in so you can see. Sorry about that. My greeting is from, I didn't mention this stamp set, did I? My greeting is from the Layered Thoughts stamp set. It has happy birthday, love, thank you, and thinking. So you can do thinking of you. And that's great if you want to do multiple colouring in stamps, in stamping greetings. But I really like the happy birthday for the masculine cards, which is what I'm doing now. Okay, and my cheers goes onto my little pannikin there. There we go. That's all my stamping done. And then there's a lot of fussy cutting. Well, not a lot, but there is fussy cutting on this card. So I'm just going to, cutting out the cup is actually quite easy. The lines are easy to work with. And I am cutting close to the edges. And you'll see the reason for that in a minute, because I've got a little tip for the way that you cut. There we go. The inside of the handle. I like to cut, snip the bottom. I'm not going to cut the whole thing off, but cut out the handle. And as always, move your paper and keep your scissors straight. That just gives you better control. Are we done there? Almost. I didn't go all the way to the top. I love our sharp snips, okay? So that makes it easy, but when I stick it onto my card, I can just pop that handle back there and no one will ever know that I actually cut it off to get into the inside of the handle to cut it out. I'm now also going to use my bone folder just to gently bend the cup to give it some more dimension. And that will be stuck with some glue. Okay, now also the good thing about this stamp set is that you can cut it into 2 pieces so that you've got happy, so you can change the orientation of where you want the letters to go, whether you want them to be all horizontal or stacked like they are on the actual stamp. And I did seriously contemplate cutting the 2 words in half, but then the layout of my card actually helped me decide to just leave it all together. And also, that's a bit easier as well, isn't it? Let's be honest. Okay. Luckily, I'm cutting this out because I've managed to get ink on my fingers and make a splodge. So the beauty of fussy cutting is that you can de-splodge your creation by chopping the thing off. And look at this. Saved by the scissors. These are very cool, very angular letters in this greeting, which make for good cutting. There we go. Happy birthday. Done. And so I'm going to be finished this card before you can say Jack Robinson, really. Okay, there's my happy birthday. All cut. And I'm going to put it on angle because those angled letters lend themselves to it very nicely. 1, 2, 3. Popping that over there. And then my little mug, I'm actually going to use black dimensionals on the mug. I actually want the bigger ones. Where are they? Here they are. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is layer 2, one on top of the other, just there for this one. But with the little ones, I'm going to put my handle just there. I've overlapped it and put the dimensional over the top of it to anchor that in place where I chopped it off to make the cutting easier for myself. Okay. So when we put the mug onto our project, the handle won't come apart and reveal my little behind the scenes trick. And also we've got more dimension with the mug. There we go. Happy birthday. Cheers. Oh, and inside is that piece that we put the torn paper and stamping on. So that's very easy to do. So a very simple card for you today. Sometimes When you're doing cards for the fellas, it is good just to have a simple design. Not saying that the fellas are simple, but sometimes they don't appreciate lots of work. So it's good to have a simple card. Thank you for joining me. I hope you got some great ideas. Try that rip and flip technique. Make your piece of designer series paper just a bit longer than your card front and the width that you want. Rip it and turn it over, and then you've got a great easy pattern with a lovely little textured edge as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.